Hello and welcome to Sitting Down with Schneider. Today is May the 7th, and today we will be speaking with Nick Gash. Let's bring in Nick. Should be here anytime now. And there he is. Hello, Nick. Nick,
Hey, how's
can
it
you
going?
hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hey.
There you go. It took a little while to get you in here, a little to get you locked in, and then can you hear me now though? Okay, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Nick, welcome to Sitting Down with Schneider. I wanted to make sure that it's okay with you before we continue on that I record this and load it up onto my YouTube channel. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Nick. So before we start in with any other questions and stuff, would you mind introducing yourself? Let us know kind of who you are and what activities you're involved in, and let us know a little bit about Nick Gash.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Nick Gash. I've lived in Brentwood now for 20 years. Went to Edna Hill Middle. Well, I went to Brentwood Hill, Edna Hill Middle School, Liberty High School, and then went to UC San Diego and graduated last June with a BA in global health. Uh, During college, I was an ER medical scribe because I want to be a physician assistant later on. But before applying to PA school, I decided to apply and join the Peace Corps, where for the last 6 months I was a community health facilitator in Peru. Long story short, I broke my wrist, came back here to recover, but never got the chance to go back because Peace Corps was suspended due to the pandemic. So I'm just here now, applying to jobs, applying to PA school. Maybe I'll be reinstated to go back to Peru. But yeah, just trying to keep my options open.
So you said you're applying to what school? PA school?
PA, physician assistant.
Hmm. Excellent. So how are you holding up with all of the shelter in place? Just in general, how are you holding up?
Uh, for the most part, pretty well. Applying with PA schools, retaking the GREs kind of kept my mind off it a little bit. Overall, pretty well. I mean, I think like most people, definitely low days, just kind of the abundance of just kind of unprecedented news and kind of a huge uncertainty what the future will look like, not only for our own personal lives but just as a country and kind of a world of how we like move on after this and what does that future look like. But for considering under the circumstances, I'm doing well.
Have you found yourself picking up on any new hobbies or anything to kind of help you pass the time? Anything to keep you busy?
Yeah, I actually in our house we have a my great grandmother's piano, so I actually started learning to play the piano to kind of pass the time. So that's kind of one of the hobbies I've picked up during this.
How's that coming along? You know any songs yet?
It's coming along. Actually, it's not coming along. It's coming along well. I subscribe to this like piano app that does like lessons and things like that. And then after a lesson, they corresponded to a song. So I can't really say I can play a song, but with the notes and the things they give me, I can play that song to that kind of level. So it's like a wide range of like different stuff from old music to new music. So but yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a nice kind of, I haven't really done that much in music, so it's kind of a fun part, kind of a new thing to kind of experiment with.
Yeah, well, you get that time, a lot of the people that I've been talking with have been picking up on just new stuff from baking to guitar to piano. So,
Yeah.
you said, I mean, I knew this, and as you
Mhm.
introed it, that you were over in Peru and you
Mhm.
were there for the Peace Corps. And so, have you been in contact with I don't know if you're able to be in contact
Mhm.
because you guys are so remote, or at least the people that could like be in contact with them. Are they
Uh-huh.
all okay? And how has maybe, and you may or may not know this, how's COVID affected you know that community you were working with?
No, that's a good question. Some people in my site, including my host sister, have phones, and with WhatsApp is free. Uses very little data, so I've been able to communicate with my host sister and with with the doctor I worked with. He would come every day to my community, but he lived about 45 minutes away to a neighboring community that actually had a community economic development volunteer that I became good friends with. And I've been talking to them a bit. Their spirits are high. With my site specifically, I haven't heard of any kind of COVID has reached there or anything like that. I mean, everyone's scared in my site, but for the most part, it seems like they're safe and healthy. That site where my doctor is from, actually, it's only an hour away though, have had about two cases of coronavirus. Actually, it was, funny enough, yesterday I talked to my friend. I caught up with her, who was working in that site, and she was telling me that the alcalde. Now, alcalde is basically in more or less kind of like the mayor in Peruvian's local government, like they're the mayor, and his mom had coronavirus. I think she passed away in the town. He never tested positive, but he like self-quarantined for 2 weeks. But there's definitely, like everywhere in the world, everyone's taking their precautions. Everyone's scared. A lot of things don't know. In terms of Peru as a country, last I checked on kind of the coronavirus tracker, Peru has I think as of yesterday or 2 days ago, about 47,000 cases. But the really interesting part though is that 29,000 of those cases are in the Lima region. Now they develop, I was talking about in your class, the departments, right? That's what they call states. So Lima obviously is the capital city, but they also, that huge department is called Lima as well. That whole range of where the city is, but that city is really high population density, especially those suburbs. Even that area is very, a lot of population density. So they have 29,000. I mean, they have over half the cases just in that area. Luckily, in Cajamarca, which was the department I was working in, the region I was working in, has 268 confirmed cases, which is, so I'm really glad for that. So, I can't speak for everyone's side. I can't speak for all the, kind of rural communities, obviously in Peru, but at least for mine, it seems like they're safe. But just that one community an hour away, though, had at least 2 confirmed cases. So it doesn't mean they can't get there, but as far as I know, they're safe and everyone's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that it can, it can get anywhere. You just got to be so
Yeah.
careful. Now you studied World Health was that what it's called? World Health?
Global health.
Sorry, global. Are any of your, like anybody that you went to school with, are they on because health, right? I mean, we're talking about global health and obviously virus with the health. Is anybody that you know of like on the front line with some of this stuff with communities and trying to help within the communities, maybe some colleagues at school or anything like that?
Yeah, colleagues at school, most people from my global health class are finishing up their graduate degrees in either Masters of Public Health, or there is now a Masters of Global Health at UCSD, so some of them applied, some of them are finishing that up. I know some went on to some kind of medical school, so some now are medical residents, or not residents yet, but medical students their first year. On the front lines, I don't know anyone personally, but I do know some, from Global Health, my program, but from my Peace Corps group, actually, in Massachusetts, a lot of them are from there, and the government has asked them to do contact tracing. I know Governor Gavin Newsom, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, was saying that he wanted to hire about 10,000 people to do contact tracing for COVID. So as far as I know, some of my friends in my Peru cohort have been doing that for Massachusetts.
Wow.
But no one personally that I know from school that are like actually on the front lines. I do know some of my coworkers from when I was a scribe, some of my PA friends, they've been working down in San Diego and LA on the front lines and doing antibody tests and things like that.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that's just hit so close to home.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, yeah. The Peace Corps, obviously, that got delayed. They're not going to send you back
Hmm.
under the current circumstances. And so, if given the opportunity, are you hoping to go back and either go back where you were,
Hmm.
or either take on another assignment and do the full stint, or is it something where you're going to kind of just wait that out with the whole idea of maybe
Yeah.
doing your graduate degree? I guess my question is, would you like to go back if you had that opportunity?
So that's a really good question. So as of right now, I know that I want to go back, and but under the circumstance, obviously under the current reality, that may not happen. Right now, actually, Peace Corps a couple weeks ago emailed us saying that at the end of May, at the end of this month, we can apply for reinstatement. So what does reinstatement mean?
Okay.
That means that we can apply back to our host country, back to our job. So I was in the community health program. So I would kind of reapply, but it would be expedited because we've already been in the system. And for reinstatement, that means that I would reinstate my service. So each Peace Corps volunteer has to complete 27 months of service, 3 months of training, and then 24 months of actual service in the community. So I was there for 6 months. So I would have, so if I was to go back, I would resume my 21-month commitment, and I would continue that. So the timeline roughly they would say is apply in late May, and then throughout the summer they would have we'd have to update our health history form. So that's just kind of if we have new illnesses, or for me, I broke my wrist in my site, so like I would just put up I broke my wrist, which they already know, but I would have to update that. And then they may do it's a bit vague, obviously, because everything's so unpredictable, but they said that we might have to do some more things for medical clearance. We'd have to reapply for our Peace Corps passports, which is this I guess it's a way of saying it's our badge, but we have to reapply for that, reapply for a Peru visa. And they're hoping that we can be sent back. The earliest they could send us back is October, because that's the beginning of the fiscal year. And they're looking for, I think I remember in one of the support groups, they were saying that they want Congress, they're going to need some more funding from Congress. And so they're hoping that in the new fiscal year, whenever that bill will be approved, they can get that funding. But so I want to go back, and I know that I'm definitely going to apply at the end of May, but I'm also applying to PA schools. And I'm also still applying to jobs because I just want to keep kind of all my options open and things like that. But I definitely want to go back. And even if it's not to my site of Chugmar, I would still go back. I really, really felt passionately about the work we were doing. Not just the actual work of community health and kind of the health goals that the Peruvian government wanted us to complete, but just more of that kind of that intercultural change, because we were trying to do sustainable development, right? And that's all about behavior change, and that's extremely hard. I mean, if it was easy, then there wouldn't be a Peace Corps anymore, right? There wouldn't be, the world would be, there wouldn't be so many problems, right? But so even if it's not to my side, I would go back. But again, that also depends on the country, right? Because Peru right now, and the sad thing is Peru had one of the harshest, strictest guidelines in terms of kind of COVID-19 lockdown, and they're the hardest hit Latin American country right now. So even with those guidelines, but then again, there's so many factors, right? But
Right.
even with that effort, so who's to say that maybe by October, when Peace Corps says to Peru, the country, that hey, we can send over 100 volunteers, they may say no, because right now United States is the epicenter. I mean, the latest model the other day said that maybe 134,000 citizens will die. So, so there could be a lot of countries that could say, we don't want anyone coming into our country until there's a vaccine, which partly I believe too. So I don't know.
Yeah,
So there's a
who
lot.
knows how long that's going to be, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But to answer your question shortly, yes, I would like to go back.
Yeah, no, and I can
Yeah.
see, but you'd like to go back, but obviously you can't halt looking at
Mhm.
graduate programs and looking at jobs, because you're
Yeah.
everything there's not there's no, it's no sure thing, it's
Yeah.
absolutely no sure thing. So yeah, wow, that's just that's a lot to juggle, but I think you're going in with the right attitude of, if this happens, everything's day to day. It's
Yeah.
like day to day, hour to hour. So
Mhm.
just keeping that hopefulness in mind. So just you speak about how passionate you were, and I mean, just when you
Mhm.
came and presented to class. You know, you could tell how much you had the connections you'd made with the people, and the impact you felt like you were having. And so, you know, to have your wrist broken, come home, which for you think was just a small amount of time, and then for this, that's just it's just amazing to me how you know, the chain of events. It's just it's crazy.
It's definitely crazy. I know. I mean, yeah, I know it's kind of funny. Well, it's funny. I know because my friends had a really hard time getting out of Peru because it was a whole. It was so. Well, try to make a long story short. That Wednesday before they made the announcement, so 4 days before they made the announcement that Peace Corps was suspended, I got approved by my doctor to go back, and Peace Corps, the Office of Medical Service, approved me to go back. So I was just waiting to get that plane ticket, and then that Sunday, so Wednesday, then 4 days later, Sunday, Director Olson, Judy Olson of Peace Corps, made the announcement that they were going to evacuate everyone around the world. Now, I was surprised, but I also was a little not totally surprised because, you know, Grant Mathias and Rachel Furpo were doing the Peace Corps too.
Right.
And Grant was already getting evacuated before the whole world was being evacuated, because North Macedonia, where he was serving, is so close to Italy that the country program made the decision, this isn't safe anymore. You guys are too close.
Right. You got to get out.
And same thing with Rachel, who was serving in Morocco. Morocco is so close to Spain, which was at the time also one of the epicenters. So Rachel was already like, I'm being evacuated right now. So I was like starting to see the train, but like I was kind of in denial. I was like, we're fine. Like, you know, and then
you could totally see those trends happening. Yeah, absolutely.
And then that night when Judy Olson announced the evacuation, everyone, Peru's president, unrelated, Peru's president already had his scheduled speech. But that night he called for a mandatory 15 air, land, and sea lockdown of the whole country. So my friends were stuck in Peru for 8 days trying to get out of Peru because they had such strict lockdown measures, and they're still under lockdown. And that was back in March 15th, and now it's May 7th now. So like they're still trying to lock down and stop it. So yeah, it was a crazy time. I mean, I guess it is a blessing disguised as a broken wrist. Didn't have to go through that whole craziness, but part of me does wish that I was able to get kind of a chance to say goodbye, even though I know my friends never got that goodbye, even saying goodbye to our Peace Corps friends and saying goodbye to their communities. But I don't know, I still wish I kind of had that experience, but it is what it is. And, you know, hopefully I can go back. I'm still in contact, like I said, over WhatsApp. And so, yeah, you know, just do the best what you got. So
just take it day to day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Nick. Well, hey, one last question before we cruise. I ask this of everyone I talk to. So just locally, obviously going back into the Peace Corps, long-term things like that. If we get permission to get out of shelter in place, you can kind of go do what you want to do. What would be the first thing that you'd want to go do leaving the house? That let's say is a Friday night. What would you want to do? What would be the first thing as if the shelter in place were lifted? What would be the first thing you want to do?
Well, it would depend. I would, in a dream scenario, it would be going to Mannheim with my friends. I mean, social distancing, of course, social distancing, and it would be awesome to see Feng Shui play. And
I
would. You know how much I loved the last time I was there. I would honestly that'd be nice. Just kind of a sense of normalcy, something kind of like seeing old friends, and something that was part of our old lives, right? Because now we're in this new state of a new reality.
Everything's changed. But you said normalcy, and let's be honest, nothing's normal when Feng Shui's playing.
Yeah, no, there's nothing normal that night. But yeah, I think that would definitely be my dream scenario. That's what I do.
Right on. All right, Nick. Well, I'm gonna shut off the recording part. Hang out though, because I know that Patrick and Patty'd love to say hi. So
of course.
Thank you so much, man, for all the information and sitting down with me today. It's awesome.
Hey, no problem. I loved it. Yeah, no, man. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.